Retirement for Life. Your passport to a comfortable and confident retirement. The podcast that's equal parts education and entertainment, where we break down the retirement maze with a dash of fun and a heap of wisdom from your host, Christian Sear CPA, the passionate retirement specialist and president of Sear Financial Wealth Advisors, the independent registered investment advisor specializing in the AIM Retirement System.
All right, welcome to Retirement for Life podcast episode 48. Andrea, can you believe we got here?
No.
Brooke, can you believe we got here?
No.
48. So that means we've almost been 2 years into this massive podcast project.
Yep.
How far do you want to go?
I guess we'll see.
Brooke, how far do you want to go?
1,000.
Brooke loves the podcast. She absolutely loves the podcast. Well, all right. So here we are on episode 48. Here's a topic that is near and dear to my heart. As you guys know, I just get on rolls, don't I?
You do.
And right now, I am hot on two things, and I'm going to discuss one of those things today. Today, I'm going to talk very seriously to my retirees about why Social Security is not going to go away, okay? But it will impact retirees, right? So we're hearing, first of all, does anyone know, did you hear what the federal debt went up to now?
Isn't it $38 trillion?
$38 trillion.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of money,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So this is interesting. Of the $38 trillion, 3 million of that, roughly, 2.7 trillion of that is due to the Social Security Trust Fund. So when you hear that the government is $38 trillion in debt, 7 trillion of that they owe to themselves, to funds that they've stole from over the years.
Yeah.
And there's a president, I won't mention his name, but there was a president about 15, 20 years ago who proudly patted himself on the back for having a balanced budget. Well, yeah, they balanced the budget because they stole money from Medicare and Social Security.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so Social Security is top of mind for our retirees.
Yeah.
When retirees, when you ask them, I'll just ask you guys, when a retiree wants to talk about Social Security running out of money, it's supposed to run out of money in what year?
2034.
2034. So that's like 9 years from now, right?
Yeah.
Okay. What do you think? What's the first thing? And there's no right or wrong answer here. What's the first thing retirees that we talk to when we bring this up? What's their concern?
They're afraid they're going to have less income coming in from their Social Security.
Yeah, they don't want to rely on it because they think it's going away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they're afraid to wait to take Social Security because they're afraid they won't get what they have put into it.
So I've said for years, and I stand by this, Social Security will not go broke. You will not lose your income. And today we're going to talk about exactly why, and I'm going to convince every single person listening here why it's not going to go away, but I also am going to tell my retirees why it potentially will impact them, okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So over the next 75 years, Social Security is going to take in a bunch of money, right? Everyone who's working puts money into the Social Security Trust Fund.
Mm-hmm.
And how does it come out? It comes out to our retirees.
Right.
So here's the math on it. Over the next 75 years, the Social Security Trust Fund needs to pay out $28 trillion more to retirees than what it's taking in from workers like the three of us.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like having a household budget of $128,000, but you're only making $100,000 a year. It's a $28,000 shortfall,
Right.
except 28,000 has 3 zeros and 28 trillion. Brooke, how many zeros is a trillion? 12.
12, yeah.
Correct.
I actually was going to say 12.
You're right. So that's daunting, right? So when people, how can you say, Chris, that Social Security is not going to go away if it has to find $28 trillion over the next 75 years?
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes to answer the questions of the future, you can look back to the past. So 1982, all right, I don't care. I've said it openly. I'm 52. So I was like 9 years old in 1982, okay? Famous actor Ronald Reagan. Brooke, who was president in 1982?
Ronald Reagan.
Yeah. Ronald Reagan is the president. And now get this. At 1982, the 9-year-old kid, I don't care about it, but here's what they're talking about in the headlines of Social Security. Social Security is 1 year away, on the verge of the trust fund being completely empty. So that's 1 year. Now, what did I say earlier? We've got 9 years to figure this out.
Mm-hmm.
So that's would be very scary for our retirees. Right now it's like, we have 9 years to figure this out. Could you imagine if our retirees came in today and we were telling them that Social Security is going to run out of money in 1 year?
Well, I mean, the fact of the matter is the government's going to wait till the last minute, right?
Yeah.
They never do anything in advance.
But I think it would increase the level of anxiety. You think about the people that have come in lately to talk about health insurance and Social Security. And
We'd have a lot more calls coming in.
yeah, what are we going to do about Social Security? But so this is one of the reasons why I say it will not run out of money, because lawmakers, what they do, they fix the problem. Okay. And as I'll explain, what they did not do to retirees, they did not take away their income. Okay. But they did impact retirees another way. So here are the 6 things that they did to fix Social Security with the Social Security Amendments Act of 1983. Okay. So now I'm 10, and now Social Security is fixed. Now, by the way, if you do the math, they basically fixed Social Security for, what is that? Is that 50 years?
Yeah. Yep.
So with the stroke of a pen, the people in Washington, D.C., Social Security is running out of money. Nope. Let me just write a little bill. Let me just sign it. And all of a sudden, magically, we got 50 years. That's exactly what's going to happen again, right? Okay, so why does Chris Sears say Social Security is not going to run out of money? Because with the stroke of a pen, the lawmakers will do it again. But it does have consequences. Okay. So first thing they did in good old 1982/1983, they made payroll tax increases. Okay. So basically, they started forcing workers like us to pay more money into the Social Security system. Who does that impact? Younger people working. Okay? What else did they do? There's these people who work for themselves, so-called self-employed people. They weren't being taxed as much on Social Security. They started taxing them just as much as people who are working. Okay, they did this. They gave a bonus, an increased bonus for waiting to take your Social Security, right?
Yep.
Which is why today a lot of our clients are waiting until 70 because of that bonus, right?
Yep.
Which is counterintuitive.
Right.
We are telling our clients, wait till 70. Why? Why?
Higher payment.
You'll get more money. And yet the government, this is so typical of the government. They make foolish financial decisions. I want you to wait for 3 years to take your Social Security, and I'll pay you perhaps $1 million more.
Right.
How does that make sense for any company? If that was a company, the CEO would be fired.
Yeah.
But that was one of the things they did. They said, okay, we'll give you a bonus. We'll give you more money for waiting. And then apparently, I didn't know this, in the 80s, federal workers were not part of the Social Security system. Now they are forced to be part. So they had more people putting money into Social Security. And they also forced nonprofit agencies. Their workers now have to participate in Social Security. Again, more money into Social Security system. And then they changed, this was a big one, they changed the full retirement age. So back in 1981, you could get your full Social Security when you were 65. And what is it today? What's
67.
67. But remember I said they didn't hurt retirees? They phased that in, right?
Yep.
So if you're sitting there, I told you I was like 10 years old in 1983. If you were 55 years old or 54 years old or 53 years old, 52 years, if you were 50 or older in 1983, you're planning for retirement, they did not touch your Social Security. They said you can still take it at 65. They basically went back to young people. So majority of this, what they did was they went after younger people. They went after people who weren't even close to retirement. They went after basically people who were at least 15 to 20 years away from retirement. But I told you there was one thing that impacted retirees. Prior to 1982, we as a country did not tax Social Security. And today,
They definitely do.
Yeah. They tax as much as 80% of our Social Security. And that's actually, I'm surprised. I wonder if that had a lot of controversy because, your Social Security, it's your money, right? And so you put it into this trust fund and then they're taxing you on it on the backside. So that's what they did for retirees. So I'll tell retirees they're not going to take away your income. But if you're not doing a Roth conversion, if you've got a pension, you very well could have some pretty high income in retirement. And we preach this to our retirees. Do a Roth conversion, a lot of benefits. It will bring your taxable income down.
Yep.
And one of the side benefits of that we don't usually talk about is it possibly taxes your Social Security less, right? And so when I'm looking at this, I get concerned for retirees today, not that they're going to run out of Social Security income, but if their income is high, maybe they're going to tax 100% of your Social Security.
Right.
Right.
And this is one of the things they did in the past. But, all right, top 3 fixes. Just one more thing to solidify the fact for my retirees that Social Security is not going to go away. There are 3 things. I picked the top 3 things that they can do to fix Social Security today. All right. Social Security going to run out of money in 2034? No. Chris Sears says no. Why? Because lawmakers are going to fix it. What are they going to do, right?
Yeah, right. Probably something similar to what they did back in the 80s.
Right.
Hey there, RFL show listeners. Did you know that 97% of Americans associate the word financial advisor with simply investing money? But sadly, there is one key piece of information most retirees do not realize until it's too late, and sometimes they miss it altogether. And although retirement is this great emotional victory, sadly, it's actually the beginning of the most treacherous part of your financial life. If you're considering working with a fiduciary who works exclusively with retirees and those nearing retirement, go to aimassessment.com. That is AIMassessment.com. Schedule a complimentary one-on-one visit with me. Ask questions about your retirement situation. Learn more about our trademarked AIM Retirement System and see if we may be a good fit for you. It all starts here with the conversation. AIMassessment.com. So I'm going to go in reverse order from least impactful to most impactful, okay? And I'll give you a hint. The most impactful one is the example I use all the time. So I'll let you guys go with that one. But here are the first 2. So this is going to have a 30 to 50% impact on fixing the Social Security problem if it were enacted, okay? Raising the full retirement age from what is now 67 to 69, that would fix 30% of the problem right there. And again, they're not going to, you're 65 years old, you're waiting for 67 today to claim your Social Security.
Right.
They're not going to change you. They're going to change that girl right there, that one right there, right?
Probably not me.
No. God bless you.
Yep.
Not either of us.
At least I'm old for that's at least one benefit.
That's one benefit. So look, you're listening to this podcast. How are they going to fix Social Security? Your kid or your grandkid probably is not going to get to collect his or her Social Security full retirement benefit at age 67. It's probably going to be 69 or 70. By the way, if they change the number to 70 full retirement age, that fixes 45 to 50% of the problem. Okay, right there, that's half the problem. Done. Do my retirees care about that? Not really. Maybe their grandkid's going to start Social Security.
Not a big deal.
Right.
Number 2 is we talked about payroll taxes. So how do you pay for Social Security? You as an employee right now pay 6.2% of your wages go into your Social Security trust fund, but the employer also pays an additional 6.2%, okay? Raising that number together, that's 12.4%. Taxing you more as you're working and taxing the company that's paying you more, going from 12.4% to 14.4%, that's going to solve 50 to 60% of the problem. Okay, so right there, those two things that we just talked about, if you just do those two things, Social Security, problem, gone. So tell me my favorite example when I talk to my retirees of why Social Security is not going away. You guys do.
Yeah. So there's a cap on the amount of tax that you pay into Social Security.
What do you mean a cap?
So, for example, the example you always use is that let's take, the richest man in the country right now, Elon Musk. He's paying
Worth $400 billion, by the way.
Yes, he's paying as much into Social Security as somebody, making
$170,000.
Yeah. So it's a pretty significant jump from 170 to what Elon is making, and if they made some changes to whether it's the cap or the amount that those richer or higher income individuals pay into Social Security, that would fix a large part of the problem.
So let me get this straight. You're saying the software engineer that makes $170,000, Andrea, puts as much money into the Social Security Trust Fund as the richest man in America?
Yep.
What about like Tim Cook, the CEO of Apple, who made $75 million last year? Does he pay more?
Nope, same.
So all three of those people put the exact same amount of money into Social Security Trust Fund.
Which is kind of crazy.
We just had that. We were just talking about this last night, and we had a client in, and she said the same thing. She said something.
She was very
blown away by it.
It's like, I can't believe that.
Yeah.
So that is the biggest, easiest fix right there. Okay, that fixes as much as 75 to 80% of the problem right there.
Yep.
Depending on how much they make people pay.
Right.
So Social Security is going to go broke by 2034, but it's not going to because lawmakers are going to fix it. History will repeat itself. No lawmaker wants to take away grandma's Social Security.
Yeah. Right.
They're going to fix it. It's probably going to impact younger people. The only impact I truly see potentially for my retirees is a tax problem, which everything in retirement ultimately comes back to taxes. I don't care if we're talking Social Security, income, health insurance.
Yeah.
It all is touched by taxes. So good news. You're retired. Whew. Wipe away the sweat on your brow. Social Security is not going away.
Yep.
Yeah.
Can we celebrate that?
Yeah.
Brooke, give me a clap. Brooke's just pushing buttons back there. All right, so that was my topic today. Do you guys have anything else you want to talk about on podcast 48?
Yeah, I think speaking of lawmakers, it kind of brings up something else that we've been hearing from our clients. So we recently ended the longest government shutdown that we've ever had. And a big issue, throughout the shutdown was healthcare for retirees, people on marketplace. It impacts the most. So basically what ended up happening is that the subsidies that were kind of extended during COVID era are no longer being put into place. So we see people, on marketplace that insurance that, if they make over $85,000 or 4 times the poverty limit, they're paying a significant portion for their insurance.
Yeah.
This, really aggravates people. I think we hear from a lot of people. They don't like paying a lot of money for insurance, especially when the insurance is not that good.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to bring that up. The other thing we've been hearing from clients a lot is Medicare insurance.
Yeah. I saw, you see the COLA for your Social Security is about 2.5–3%, right? Well, they just announced that Part B is going to go up 10%.
That's crazy.
So it's not even going to be offset by the COLA, which is unusual. Usually it does, pretty much is a wash. But that's not the case coming in 2026. So even people on Medicare will be affected by higher healthcare costs.
So you're really talking about two different things, right? So to be clear, if I am 65 or older, I'm on Medicare, and that's what you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people don't understand, and it is complicated, how Medicare works. There's Part A. There's Part B as in boy. There's Part D as in drugs. There's typically a supplement policy, which
Plan G,
right? So you got all these letters, A, B, D, G, right? It sounds like Every good boy does fine.
Yeah.
The treble clef in music. But so that's what's happening for retirees who are 65 and older. Part A is free. Part D, you usually have to pay something for a drug plan. Part G is your supplement, right?
A couple $100 a month usually.
But this Part B, how do people who are 65 and older, how do they pay for Part B?
Out of their Social Security typically, unless they've waited like we've asked them to, and then they have to write a check to pay for it. And it's but right now $185, but they announced it's going to be $202 or something.
And that's the 10% that you're talking about.
Yeah.
So you're getting a Social Security check, and the amount they take out for Part B Medicare, they're going to take out 10% more.
Yeah, and they're raising the deductible that you have to pay before your supplement kicks in.
It's really confusing too, because if I'm a retiree, okay, I'm paying for all these things. Part A is free, okay? But Part B, do I write a check for it? No, you just said it comes out of your Social Security check. Part D, you have to write a check, insurance premium for your drug plan, right? And then you also need this Part G, which you're also paying a check out of your pocket for most people, right? And so there's just money flying everywhere in this medical system. And, I said it before we went live. I was talking to a retiree last week, and he's just complaining. He's bitching about his American healthcare, Medicare. And I said, sir, do you realize, yes, it's complicated, but by most accounts, America has, if not the best, one of the best healthcare systems in the world. Okay, so that tells you how complicated this is.
Yeah.
But bottom line, you're saying for people 65 and older, the amount of money coming out of their Social Security check for Medicare is going to go up by 10%.
Yeah.
That stinks.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, but you're talking about people who are not yet 65.
So
What's
this
that
would
mean?
be people that are retiring, whether they're 60, 55, anytime before Medicare starts at 65. A lot of times people don't have coverage from, through their work with retiree benefits, and they have to turn to Marketplace or like Obamacare insurance. So that's what I'm talking about. The subsidies that were put into place during COVID made it so that people, even if you had, $150,000 of income every year, they still had a lot of subsidies to help cover the cost of the expensive insurance. And most of those have gone away now. So that's really a concern for people that we're talking to that maybe aren't close to 65 yet, but are thinking about retiring. We're having to plan for sometimes $30,000 a year just for their insurance until they turn 65.
All right, so we're going to talk about the bad side right now. So give me a real life example of a client you had right now. What is their premium? What was it for? Let's just call it what it is. It's Obamacare.
Yeah.
Okay? It was, and now what is it?
Yeah, so this is just a standard example. So a couple with about $100,000 of income. So whether that income is, from work or you're pulling money out of your IRA, there's income to cover your needs of some sort. So $100,000. Last year, or I guess this year, 2025, they're paying $6 a month in premiums. Next year, they're going to have to pay $2,200 a month for premiums.
Okay. That's an extreme example. From $6 to $2,200 a month? Okay. This is obviously a big deal for clients. So you said, if I am 62 and I want to retire, I am not eligible for Medicare. We talked about that. But I can get on Affordable Health Care Act or Obamacare. And all of a sudden, the cost for this is going up drastically. Okay? We're not going to get into why. Okay, that's a whole nother thing. Basically, they passed a law that they can't pay for. Okay? But it is what it is. That's why people's premiums are going up. So while you can't just say blanket, how much is this going to cost a 62-year-old? Because as Emma pointed out, it depends on your income. But if I am 60 years old, and I'm thinking about retiring in 2 years, how much, if I'm a budget guy, and I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to make ends meet when I am 62 and retired, how much should I budget annually for Obamacare for my wife and I? What would you say? What's a good number?
We've been seeing 24 to 30,000.
I'd say 25 to 30 is a good number. Yep.
Okay. Now, I just want to say this. I get that people are upset about this. I can very well understand a customer of ours, who's upset because they were paying $6 a month or a year, whatever it was, and now they're paying $2,200 a month.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I get why that's frustrating. But let's bring in a little reality here, okay? I'm old enough to remember when I used to talk to clients who were 62 years old who wanted to retire before Obamacare was even a thing. And I would look them in the eye and say, I don't care if you have $3 million in your bank account. Just FYI, there's not an insurance company in the United States of America that's going to insure you because you are not healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Now, because of this law, and I agree it's expensive, and people are getting angry because it's going up, and politics are getting involved, and there's accusations flying. But the bottom line is, I'm going to go back to that client who now has to pay $2,200 a month. Hey, do you want insurance or not? Because you can go back to work like it used to be before Obamacare, because otherwise you probably wouldn't have insurance right now.
Mm-hmm.
So, thank your lucky stars on one hand.
Yeah.
Everyone wants a Ferrari in the driveway. We can't all have a Ferrari. Okay. Life is great. I wish every child in America had food on their plate. I wish everybody had a home over their head. I wish everybody had everything and there was no such thing as money. But the reality is that you have to pay for stuff.
I mean, I try to just bring our clients back to reality a little bit and, tell them. I've spoken to multiple clients last week and have told them, we've told you that you can retire for, many different reasons, but ultimately whether you're paying $30,000 or $0 for healthcare, that's not going to make or break anything, especially when we're talking about, the couple of years before you turn 65.
Mm-hmm.
Right. To your point, if paying $24,000 to $30,000 a year for health insurance is going to significantly impact your plan in a negative way, we're probably not encouraging you to retire at this point.
Right.
And if we are saying it's okay, then you shouldn't worry so much. It is what it is. Pay your $2,200 a month and be thankful that you are one of the few, percentage-wise, in this country that can retire before 65.
Mm-hmm.
Be thankful.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Speaking of thankful, Thanksgiving.
Yeah, this year has flown by. I can't believe
believe it.
Thanksgiving.
What are you doing for Thanksgiving?
My mom's house.
Yeah?
She hosts everybody, and we're all bringing stuff to help, so she doesn't have to cook everything.
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing for Thanksgiving?
Well, I'm going to my mom's house. We have a big bunco night, very competitive dice game. But I think more excitingly, sorry, Mom, but Black Friday. Looking forward to Black Friday.
Black Friday. Brooke, what's going on for Thanksgiving this year in your household?
We're just here, there, and everywhere. So
does that mean like you're giving up on Thanksgiving? Like you're avoiding
I think
Thanksgiving
we have
parties?
4 Thanksgivings.
Oh
So.
my gosh. That has got to be a nightmare.
It is. It is.
4 Thanksgivings?
Mm-hmm.
How do you manage that? Do you just eat like a turkey leg at one house and the breast at the other?
Yeah, I kind of try to spread it out. I don't get sick of
Take
it.
a lot of naps.
Yams at grandma's and
Yeah.
stuffing at dad's or whatever.
Yeah.
I hope all you guys have a great Thanksgiving. Like I said, we've been going on this adventure now for close to 2 years. So thanks to everybody who has decided to join us in whatever this is.
Mm-hmm.
But it's been great. And I enjoy talking to you too, guys. Also, it's a lot of fun. So, all right, that's it. That's a wrap up for podcast episode 48, Retirement for Life. Brooke, let's do something special for 50. That's in about a month, okay? Is that before the end of the year?
Yep, that's our last one.
Oh, man. It's got to be like a Jubilee or extravaganza or something. What are we going to do?
I don't know. Leave it in the comments below.
All right, that's all for this week. See you guys next time.
Investment advisory services provided by Sear Financial, Inc., SEC registered investment advisor. All content on this podcast is for information purposes only and should not be considered investment, legal, or tax advice. Material presented is believed to be from reliable sources, and no representations are made by our firm as to another party's informational accuracy or completeness.